close your eyes and let your breathing fall into the rhythm of waves rolling against the shore. Slow, gentle, endless. Tonight, we are leaving the familiar world behind, the world of air and sky, of moonlight reflected on restless tides. We are beginning a journey downward into Earth's most mysterious frontier, the deep ocean. The sea covers more than 70% of our planet, and yet its hidden depths remain more unexplored than the surface of the moon. Beneath its shifting surface lies a world that is almost another planet entirely, vast, dark, and full of beings so strange they seem borrowed from dreams. Together, let us sink into this liquid cosmos, drifting past layers of light, shadow, and silence. Imagine yourself as a single drop of water slipping free from the surface. At first, everything still remembers the world above. The sunlight filters through in fractured beams, scattering and bending as though it were soft silk. Silver fish swim like ribbons through turquoise brightness. Their scales catch the sun in flashes of white and gold, as if they carry fragments of stars upon their skin. Corals stretch upward, building forests of stone, alive with tiny creatures that weave through them in colors as bright as wildflowers. Here, near the surface, life feels familiar. It is warm. It is bright. It is lively, like a garden touched by endless summer. This is the sunlight zone, the layer of sea that stretches only about 200 meters deep, yet nourishes most of the ocean's life. Here, photosynthesis flourishes and creatures feed on the energy of the sun. It is the ocean at its most colorful, its most visible, its most awake. But we are not staying here. Our path leads downward and downward still. With each slow meter of descent, the world around us changes. The colors that once bloomed so vividly begin to soften, then fade. Red vanishes first, swallowed by the water above us, until even the brightest scarlet appears black. Orange follows, then yellow as though the sea itself were dimming the lights of a great theater. Soon, all that remains is blue, a deep, shifting blue that thickens into twilight at 100 meters below the surface. The world is already transformed. The warmth of sunlight weakens. Shapes become silhouettes. Shadows move like whispers. It feels quieter here, as though the sea itself were holding its breath. We are leaving behind the familiar comfort of daylight and drifting into a softer, slower place. This is the beginning of the twilight zone, a realm where light and darkness overlap, where time seems to stretch out and deepen, where every movement feels deliberate, every breath precious. The sea is changing, and with it, the lives of the creatures who call this place home. Here, fish and jellyfish drift with bodies made almost of glass, transparent to avoid being seen in the fading glow. They carry with them their own quiet adaptations to twilight living. Many have large, upward-facing eyes, hungry for any last scraps of light falling from above. Others have abandoned color entirely, their scales reflecting only what surrounds them, becoming invisible in the dim blue haze. And here, in this soft dark, we encounter our first glimpses of something wondrous. light that is not sunlight, but life light. Small lanternfish pass us, their bodies patterned with glowing organs called photophores. Each fish carries its own constellation of tiny lamps along its sides, a signature as unique as a fingerprint. To the casual eye, it is as though stars themselves had come to live beneath the sea. They glow softly, pulsing and flickering, turning the water into a galaxy in motion. This light is bioluminescence, a quiet magic woven not from fire or electricity, but from chemistry. Within their bodies, special molecules known as luciferin interact with oxygen to release a soft radiance. Some creatures carry the chemistry themselves. Others depend on tiny symbiotic bacteria that live within their tissues, producing light in exchange for shelter. However it is made, the glow is purposeful. It is communication. It is camouflage. It is survival. For some fish, bioluminescence serves as a disguise. By glowing faintly beneath their bellies, they erase their own shadows, blending into the dim light above so predators cannot see their outlines. For others, light is a lure. The faint flicker draws prey closer, curious, only to be met with sudden teeth in the dark. And still for others, the glow is language, a way to signal mates, to ward off enemies, to tell the story of their presence in the silence of the deep. It is difficult not to feel wonder in this place. Imagine it, drifting through waters that no sunlight can reach, yet surrounded by tiny galaxies of light. Each pulse, each shimmer, is a heartbeat of survival. The sea itself becomes a sky turned upside down, stars moving not across black space, but through a living, liquid night. And deeper we go still, the twilight grows heavier. The last traces of daylight vanish altogether. We are leaving the realm of fading suns and entering one of perpetual night. The pressure builds, invisible but immense, pressing against us as though the weight of mountains rests on the sea. For every 10 meters we sink, the pressure grows stronger until it is hundreds of times what we know on land. And yet, the creatures here are unbroken. They are sculpted by pressure, molded by silence, shaped by this endless night into forms that both terrify and inspire. Soon, we find ourselves in the midnight zone, beginning at 1,000 meters beneath the surface. No sunlight has ever touched this place. No day, no season, no dawn or dusk. Only the long, steady rhythm of water, the silence of darkness, the faint, patient glow of bioluminescent beings. Here, life takes on stranger forms still. The anglerfish drifts into view, her dark body invisible but for the glowing lure that dangles from a spine above her mouth. The light sways softly in the water, a hypnotic beacon in the dark. To her prey, it looks like a drifting morsel, a spark of safety. But it is only a trap. In a sudden flicker of motion, her jaws open wide, teeth curved like glass needles, and the glow vanishes into her. Nearby, a gulper eel floats with its vast mouth hanging open, capable of swallowing creatures almost its own size. Its body is long and ribbon-like, curling in slow arcs, glowing faintly with a soft blue shimmer along its tail. In this place, where food is rare and precious, such adaptations are not grotesque, they are necessary. Every creature here is a testament to survival in a realm that seems designed to resist it. And yet, there is beauty even here. The vampire squid drifts gracefully, its cloak-like arms spread like a delicate umbrella. Despite its dramatic name, it feeds not on blood but on marine snow, the gentle rain of organic matter that falls from the surface world above. Tiny fragments of life, drifting downward like autumn leaves, sustain this quiet kingdom, connecting the upper seas to the depths in a slow, eternal cycle. We linger here for a while, suspended in the black stillness. Around us, creatures drift, with lanterns glowing. Jellyfish pulse like living hearts, their tendrils trailing with threads of light. Shrimp flicker briefly as they dart. Entire schools of small fish create waves of illumination that ripple across the water like an aurora of the deep. The ocean whispers in its quiet language. Life is patient. Life is inventive. Life endures as we breathe in the rhythm of this silent place. We feel its calm beginning to seep into us too. Each inhale rises like a wave. Each exhale falls like a tide. Our bodies soften, our thoughts loosen. We too are drifting, weightless in the endless night. The descent has only begun, and already the world feels transformed. From sunlight to twilight, from twilight to midnight, the sea has shown us that beauty takes many shapes, some familiar, some utterly strange, all carrying the same truth. Life will find a way. And so, as we hover here in the cathedral of the midnight sea, let us rest for a while, listening to its silence, watching its lights flicker softly like distant stars. We are travelers, dreamers, drops of water carried into the deep. And this is only the beginning. We are drifting now, farther from the bright surface than most eyes have ever seen. The sunlight has slipped away entirely, left behind like a dream we can almost remember but cannot quite touch. Above us, the world of air and sky, of birds and shorelines, feels impossibly far. The sea has changed its voice. Its rhythm is slower, heavier, more deliberate. We are entering the twilight zone. This mysterious realm lies between 200 and 1,000 meters below the surface. A vast band of ocean that circles the entire planet like a secret belt of shadow. Scientists call it the mesopelagic zone, but that word cannot capture its feeling. It is a realm of whispers, of silhouettes, of quiet drifting. Here, the day never fully arrives, and night never truly departs. It is always evening, always dusk. Imagine hovering in this space, where the last traces of daylight filter down like soft threads, only to vanish into the endless blue. At these depths, colors are undone. Reds fade to black, oranges dissolve, even yellows surrender. All that remains is the faintest wash of blue, and then, even that too is swallowed. But the ocean does not leave itself empty. Where sunlight cannot reach, life has learned to carry its own lanterns. It begins with the lanternfish, small but abundant, drifting through the water like tiny stars. Each one carries a pattern of glowing photophores along its body, shining in rhythms unique to its species. To us, they look like constellations come alive, a sky inverted and hidden beneath the waves. To them, these lights are language, a way to find mates, to travel together, to recognize one another in the immensity of the dark. The lanternfish are among the most numerous creatures on Earth. By some estimates, they may number in the trillions, forming a living river of light that encircles the planet. Each night, under cover of darkness, they rise toward the surface to feed, traveling hundreds of meters upward in what is known as the Deal vertical migration, the largest daily migration of life on Earth. And then, with the coming of day, they descend again into shadow, carrying the memory of starlight within their bodies. Other fish drift beside them, each with its own glowing patterns. The hatchetfish, slender and silver, carries photophores that erase its shadow, hiding it from predators that wait below. Its body, thin as a blade, shimmers faintly, so narrow that it seems almost two-dimensional, as if drawn onto the water instead of swimming within it. And then there are the dragonfish, delicate but deadly, carrying long, filamentous chin barbels, tipped with glowing lures. They glide through the water with elegant menace, their bodies black and nearly invisible, their lights swinging like pendulums in the dark. Their teeth are clear, glass-like, so that even when they open their jaws, no glimmer betrays their presence. They are hunters of silence, perfected by shadow. Drifting farther, we meet the jellyfish, timeless travelers of the sea. Some pulse with faint radiance, like liquid moons. Others release cascades of light when disturbed, creating ripples of illumination that roll through the water before fading back to nothing. These creatures, soft and translucent, have survived for hundreds of millions of years. They are reminders that survival does not always belong to the fierce or the fast, but sometimes to the patient, the quiet, the ones who move with the rhythm of the world itself. And in this twilight band, there is more than beauty, there is nourishment. Slowly, steadily, a rain of life drifts down from above. Scientists call it marine snow. It is not snow as we know it, but the soft fall of organic matter, tiny fragments of plants and animals, plankton, waste, even the smallest remains of lives once lived in the upper world. To the creatures of the twilight zone, these particles are precious, as vital as sunlight to the forests of the land. They drift endlessly, day after day, a snowfall of sustenance, linking the surface to the depths in a quiet, unbroken chain. Marine snow drifts like time itself, a patient rain that never ceases. Each speck may be no larger than dust, but together, they sustain vast communities of life, feeding the twilight dwellers and those even deeper still. Imagine it, a world where the very air we breathe, the very food we eat, is replaced by a snowfall that never touches the ground, yet nourishes everything it falls upon. Here in the twilight, the balance is delicate. Every movement matters, every flick of a fin costs energy, and energy here is rare. The creatures drift with care, conserving themselves, living at the pace of the sea. It is a slower life, but not a lesser one. As we hover in this band of ocean, we notice how silence deepens. There are no crashing waves, no seagulls, no storm winds. Only the muted hush of water, the faint crackle of distant movements, the whisper of a jellyfish pulsing past. The twilight zone feels like a pause between worlds, the fading memory of light above and the promise of endless dark below. And then, every so often, a miracle, the bristlemouth fish drifts past, tiny and unassuming. It may not look extraordinary, but it is perhaps the most abundant vertebrate on Earth. By sheer number, these little fish outpopulate almost every other creature with a backbone. Yet, they live hidden from us, invisible in their twilight realm, quietly thriving in shadows where we almost never followed. It is humbling, perhaps, to realize that the most common creatures on our planet are not the ones we see every day, but the ones who live far beneath, in places we can barely imagine. It is as though the sea is reminding us, the world is always bigger than what our eyes perceive. The twilight zone is not empty. It is not barren. It is filled with life, pulsing, with light, sustained by snow that falls without sound. It is a place where the rules of living are rewritten, where light is carried inside bodies instead of borrowed from the sun, where darkness is not a void but a canvas upon which life paints with radiance. We linger here, suspended among these glowing drifters, and we begin to feel the rhythm of the place seep into us. Our breathing slows, our hearts quiet. We, too, begin to drift at the ocean's pace. No urgency, no need for haste, only the soft embrace of water, the patient fall of snow, the endless glow of beings that have made the night their home. And then, as we prepare to sink even deeper, we realize the twilight zone has taught us something. It has shown us that survival can be delicate, that strength can be quiet, that beauty can live in silence. It has shown us that even in darkness, life finds its way to shine. That we are ready now, ready to leave the realm of half-light behind and enter the midnight sea where no sun has ever reached. But before we go, let us take one last slow look at the twilight waters. Let us watch the jellyfish pulse, the lanternfish shimmer, the dragonfish's lure glow like a tiny lantern in the dark. Let us remember that here, between light and night, life is not only surviving, it is flourishing in forms that remind us how wondrously adaptable our world can be. With that thought, we begin our descent once more. The twilight fades. The lights of its creatures grow sparse. Darkness gathers like a tide, surrounding us with its vastness. And we drift onward, deeper into the quiet, deeper into the night. Imagine yourself suspended in the water, far beneath the sparkling surface. The warmth of the sun, once familiar, has slipped away. You are now drifting at a depth where light itself begins to fail, where brightness is not banished all at once, but lingers as a memory. This is the ocean's twilight zone, the dim region scientists call the mesopelagic, stretching from about 200 meters down to 1,000. It is a place not of darkness, not yet, but of fading blue and gentle gloom. Here, the sea feels different. The surface waves that once danced above you are now forgotten. The colors of the world have been stripped away, leaving only shades of deep sapphire and indigo. If you glance upward, the surface is no longer a ceiling of glittering ripples. It has become a hazy glow, a blurred reminder of the daylight world above. And if you look downward, there is nothing but a vast, endless descent into darkness. The Twilight Zone is a realm of transition. It is the ocean's evening, where the day hesitates before surrendering to night. Light still touches this place, but so faintly that plants can no longer use it to live. No photosynthesis can occur here. This is the last depth where the sun's glow can be felt, yet it is too weak to sustain the green life that thrives in the shallows. In the Twilight Zone, survival takes on new shapes, and creatures have learned to master shadows, floating slowly. Through this realm, you would find yourself among some of the most astonishing beings on Earth. Many carry their own lanterns, for in the absence of sunlight, life has kindled its own stars. Tiny fish, fragile jellies, drifting shrimp, all glimmer with soft pulses of bioluminescence, the glow of chemical fire built within their bodies. These are living sparks, blinking on and off, scattered like constellations in a midnight sky. Each light has meaning, a lure to attract prey, a signal to communicate, a cloak of camouflage to hide against the dim glow from above. Among the most extraordinary inhabitants are the lanternfish, small yet unimaginably numerous. Scientists believe they may be the most abundant vertebrates on the planet. Each night, billions upon billions of them rise from this zone toward the surface, seeking plankton to feed on. And each dawn, they retreat, sinking back into the safety of darkness. This daily pilgrimage, from twilight into night and back again, is known as the Deal vertical migration. It is the greatest migration on Earth, not of wildebeest across the savanna or birds across the continents, but of fish ascending and descending in unison, like a slow tide of living silver. In this shadowy corridor, predators patrol with keen patience. The bristlemouth, a small fish with a gaping jaw lined with needle-like teeth, lurks in the half-light. The hatchetfish drifts, its body flattened like a blade of metal, reflecting what little light remains so that it nearly disappears into the water around it. To see them is to see evolution's delicate hand shaping life for survival and dimness. Nothing is wasted here. Every curve, every shimmer, every flicker of light has been sculpted to fit the eternal twilight. The water itself changes too. With every meter you sink, the pressure grows heavier, pressing against your body like an invisible hand. The temperature cools, slipping away from the mildness of the shallows into a colder, quieter stillness. The ocean here feels ancient, a place that has kept its secrets for millions of years. Scientists know that the Twilight Zone plays a crucial role in Earth's climate, for it is here that vast amounts of carbon are stored, carried downward by sinking particles of organic matter, what some call marine snow. These gentle flakes of life and death, drifting endlessly, are the quiet threads that link surface and depth, sunlight and shadow. But to drift in this zone is not to think of science alone. It is to feel wonder, to imagine yourself surrounded by lights that wink in and out like fireflies. Except these are deep-sea creatures, flickering their messages in perfect silence. To imagine whole schools of lanternfish moving as one, rising toward the starlit surface as night falls, only to sink back again when dawn threatens. It is a ballet unseen by most human eyes, and yet it unfolds every single day beneath the waves in the twilight zone. You feel the strangeness of a world, not entirely dark and not entirely light. It is a world in between, a place of ambiguity, where existence hovers between the known and the unknown. Perhaps that is why this realm feels so dreamlike, as if it were built not of matter and water, but of memory and imagination. And so as you drift here, wrapped in the soft shadows, you might close your eyes and think of the word twilight itself. A time of day when the sun is gone, but not forgotten. A pause between what was and what will be. The twilight zone of the ocean is much the same. A pause, a breath, a slow transition. You remain here, calm and unhurried, watching the flicker of lights around you, the rise and fall of unseen millions, the slow snowfall of marine snow. Nothing rushes here. Everything moves in rhythms older than time. And in this steady, eternal migration of creatures great and small, there is comfort, like the heartbeat of the ocean itself. Let yourself drift a little longer until the faint glow above fades further, until your body feels the pull of deeper water. You are ready to descend once again, leaving the twilight behind, surrendering yourself to the night. There comes a point, as we drift ever downward into the ocean, where the last whispers of the sun are finally lost. A few dim rays have followed us faithfully this far, filtering through layer upon layer of shifting blue. But now, at depths beyond 1,000 meters, even those faint companions give way. We have arrived at the midnight zone. Here, darkness is not just a condition. It is a presence, thick, unbroken, endless. The water is black as ink, stretching in every direction, a silence so profound it feels alive. If the ocean's shallows were a cathedral of light, then the midnight zone is its crypt, its secret chamber sealed away from the warmth of the surface world. Imagine floating here, far beneath the reach of day and night. The sea above is now so heavy that each square inch of your body bears the weight of 50 elephants stacked in silence. Yet the creatures that live here know this burden as home. To them, the pressure is not crushing but comforting, like the embrace of an eternal. In this vast dark, life does not vanish. It transforms. The midnight zone is alive with quiet miracles, though they may not reveal themselves easily. They dwell in shadow, camouflaged in black, or glowing softly with their own light. Tiny lanterns suspended in an endless night. The first to greet us might be the lanternfish, whose name carries its story. Each bears a delicate row of luminous spots along its body, points of bluish light that flicker like embers in the water. To the untrained eye, they might seem like stars scattered through an ocean sky. And in a way, That is what they are, the constellations of the deep, guiding these small wanderers as they rise at night toward the surface to feed, then sink back into the safety of shadow by day. But not all stars in this realm are gentle. Some are lures, bait in the eternal game of hunger. Drift closer, and you might find the anglerfish, a creature both strange and hauntingly beautiful. From her head extends a single glowing filament, swaying like a candle in the dark. She drifts motionless, her lantern burning, and when an unsuspecting fish, enchanted by the glimmer, swims too close, she opens her vast mouth, lined with teeth that curve inward, impossible to escape, and swallows the visitor whole. Her light is not a beacon of welcome, but a trick of survival, a deception written into the fabric of her being. Yet in this world of scarcity, such cunning is necessary. Food falls rarely from the surface, drifting down as marine snow, fragments of once living things. In this eternal dark, every morsel matters, and those who thrive here have learned patience, craft, and subtlety. Look again, and you may notice a delicate, almost transparent jelly drifting past, its body glowing with faint pulses of blue and green. Perhaps it is a comb jelly, trailing rows of shimmering cilia that catch the faintest flickers of bioluminescence. Their slow, rhythmic movement seems almost hypnotic, like the turning of a lullaby mobile in the nursery of the sea. Everywhere you turn in the midnight zone, light blooms where there should be none, not from the sun, but from within life itself. More than 90% of creatures here create their own glow, through chemistry as old as the oceans. It is as though the night itself has learned to write with fire. Some flash to confuse predators. Others signal to mates across the void. Still others glow to illuminate prey, or to disappear by countershading their silhouettes against faint starlight above. And then, drifting almost out of sight, a shadow moves that is not so small, not so delicate. The giant squid, a legend of the deep, belongs to this realm. With eyes the size of dinner plates, it peers through the darkness, searching for the faint shimmer of its rival, the sperm whale. Their meetings are battles of myth, played out where no sunlight has ever shone. Scars etched into the skin of whales tell of these silent wars, of tentacles and teeth locked in combat in a world no human eyes were meant to see. Yet even here, where battles are fierce and survival is fragile, there is a sense of wonder. The stillness of the water, the faint drifting lights, the slow pulse of creatures built for shadow. All of it feels like a dream, as though the sea itself has slowed time to a gentle rhythm that if you listen closely, you may almost hear it. The hush of water moving past, the faint crackle of shifting organisms, the soft beat of life carried quietly on unseen currents. In the absence of sun and moon, time here does not measure itself in days or seasons. It flows like the water, steady, unbroken, infinite. The midnight zone is a place of mystery, yes, but it is also a place of patience. Life here does not hurry. It drifts, it waits, it endures. Every flicker of light is a story, every shadow a chapter in an ancient book still being written. And as we float here, wrapped in the velvet dark, we may feel a strange peace. The surface world with its brightness and noise feels far away. Here, in the heart of the sea, the only truths that matter are the quiet ones. The rhythm of water, the shimmer of light, the slow turning of life in the dark. Oh, let us rest a moment in this stillness. Let us let the weight of the ocean press gently around us, not as a burden, but as a blanket. Let us drift with the lanternfish, follow the soft glow of jellyfish, and marvel at the patient hunt of the anglerfish. For in the silence of the midnight zone, even the fiercest survival feels like part of a great lullaby, sung not for us, but for the sea itself. And slowly, as we exhale into the quiet, we are ready to sink deeper still. Far beneath the surface, far past the twilight and the midnight, there is a place where light no longer belongs. It is a world where the sun has no voice, where time itself seems to dissolve, and where silence reigns like a sovereign. This is the abyssal zone, a kingdom that begins nearly 4 kilometers beneath the restless surface of the sea and stretches downward, folding itself into the endless dark. Imagine, if you can, lowering yourself gently through this still water. The world above has grown quiet, the last glimmer of twilight long gone, the faint sparks of bioluminescence in the midnight fading behind. What greets you now is silence thicker than shadow. Here, in the abyss, there is no need for the eye, for the eye can see nothing. Here, creatures live in darkness eternal, guided by other senses, tuned to vibrations, currents, the chemistry of survival. The abyssal plain lies beneath you, vast, flat, and stretching across the seafloor like a desert made of black sediment. It is one of the largest environments on Earth, yet one of the least explored. If all the mountain ranges and valleys of the continents above were flattened, if all the forests and plains were erased, still this seafloor would dwarf them all. The abyss covers nearly half of our planet's surface, and yet few eyes, human or otherwise, have lingered upon it. The temperature here hovers close to freezing. The pressure is crushing beyond imagination, and food is scarce, drifting down as tiny fragments from the world above. This slow rain of organic matter, what scientists call marine snow, is the lifeblood of the abyss. It falls silently, gently, 1,000 tiny flakes of dust, the remains of life lived in the light, settling on the plains of eternal night. For the creatures that live here, each flake is a gift, a chance for survival in a world of scarcity. As you drift along the seabed, strange shapes begin to reveal themselves. There is the sea cucumber, a soft-bodied wanderer, sliding slowly across. The sediment, consuming the ocean's fallen snow like a gardener tending the soil. Some resemble soft tubes, others delicate flowers that move as they feed, their gelatinous forms blending into the blackness. Their existence is humble, yet vital, recycling the remnants of the world above, turning decay into life once more. Nearby, the basket star opens its fractal arms, delicate and curling like lace. These arms unfurl slowly, patient as the tides, capturing particles in the passing water. The creature does not need haste. In this stillness, time is stretched thin and survival is a waiting game. The abyss also cradles some of the strangest forms life has ever taken. The anglerfish, with her lantern glowing from a stalk above her head, is found even here, lurking among the plains. Her light is a lure in the void, drawing prey into her waiting jaws. Though her body is small, her mouth opens wide, a dark crescent in the night, ready to devour creatures nearly as large as herself. In the emptiness of the abyss, no meal is wasted, no opportunity ignored. But perhaps the strangest of all are those who thrive in places where one would expect nothing at all. In the early 1970s, scientists discovered hydrothermal vents rising from the abyssal plains. Black chimneys billow water heated by the Earth's own crust, rich with minerals and chemicals. At first, it seemed impossible that anything could live there. Yet clustered around these vents are vibrant communities, colonies of tube worms stretching several meters long, giant clams with gleaming shells, crabs with ghostly white claws. These creatures survive not on sunlight, but on chemistry, fed by bacteria that transform toxic minerals into nourishment. Life here is not dependent on the stars, but on the Earth itself. Think of that for a moment. In the darkest reaches of our planet, beneath crushing pressure and bitter cold, life has found a way to flourish. Entire ecosystems exist in a place, without sunlight, whispering the truth that where there is possibility, life will always try to take root. Yet for all its wonder, the abyss is also fragile. The slow rhythms of life here, so dependent on the steady fall of marine snow, can be disrupted by shifts in the ocean above. Human activity, even far away, can echo down here, disrupting the balance of food and chemistry that sustains these hidden plains. The abyssal silence is not untouched. Still, when you imagine yourself floating here, carried by unseen currents, what rises most is not fear, but awe. The scale of it, the vast emptiness, the patient creatures who endure and thrive. It is like walking through an ancient cathedral of stone, built not by hands, but by the weight of the world itself. Every movement is slow. Every breath of current is a hymn. Every creature a testament to survival. The abyss is the great reminder that our planet holds mysteries beyond sight and sound. That beneath the ordinary, beneath the surface, there are worlds we have only just begun to understand. You are drifting in silence, but this silence is not empty. It is rich, alive, humming with invisible connections. It is the ocean's still heartbeat, hidden in shadow, yet essential to the hold. As your journey here continues, let yourself feel that stillness. The quiet is not threatening. It is soothing, vast, eternal. You are suspended in it, as though time has slowed, as though the world above has drifted far away. Each thought softens in this dark. Each worry dissolves. You are simply here, listening to the deep hum of the abyss. And as you linger, know that this silence will stay with you, even when you rise again. The abyss has no need for hurry, no need for noise. It teaches only patience and the grace of endurance. And perhaps, as you close your eyes tonight, you will carry some of that silence within you, a calm reminder of the ocean's hidden strength and of the deep, unseen life that thrives quietly in the heart of the world. Beyond the vast plains of the abyss lies a world even more secretive, even more shrouded in silence and pressure. It is a place hidden not only from human sight, but almost from human imagination. These are the deep trenches, the narrow scars, that carve across the ocean floor like mysterious folds in the skin of the earth. They are called the hadal zone, named after Hades, the ancient underworld. To enter this realm, we must sink past the abyss, past the 4,000-meter depths, and continue on 5, 6, even 10 kilometers down. Here the water presses with a force nearly unimaginable, over 1,000 times the pressure we feel at the surface. If you or I were to enter without protection, our bodies would be crushed instantly. And yet, in this place of immense weight and total absence of sunlight, life still exists. The journey down into a trench begins slowly. We might imagine descending through water, so still it feels almost solid, the kind of silence where your thoughts become louder than your surroundings. The water grows colder, denser, until it hovers just above freezing. And as the last traces of the open abyss fade behind us, the trench walls begin to appear, sheer cliffs that rise and fall in jagged blackness, forming valleys that plunge. Deeper than Mount Everest stands tall. In these chasms, the world is no longer horizontal but vertical. The ocean floor buckles and folds, creating canyons where the dark seems to fold in upon itself. Some trenches are so narrow that their walls almost touch, while others spread out like yawning gulfs. These landscapes have never been touched by sunlight, not even in the dawn of the earth. They are as untouched and secret as any place on our planet can be. And here, against all odds, life has made a home. Imagine translucent creatures drifting. In the stillness, their bodies so delicate they seem like pieces of glass given form. Amphipods, small, shrimp-like animals, are among the most common. But these amphipods are unlike the ones that scuttle near the shore. Here in the hadal depths, they can grow much larger, some reaching the size of a human hand. Their bodies are adapted to withstand crushing pressure, with cell membranes reinforced to stay flexible and fluids carefully balanced to resist collapse. Along the trench walls, one might find sea cucumbers, soft-bodied scavengers that creep slowly over the sediment. Some glow faintly, a ghostly reminder that even in the deepest dark, bioluminescence persists. Here, light is not from the sun, but from the creatures themselves, a tiny economy of sparks in a place where night never ends. Every scrap of nourishment here comes from above. Bits of decaying matter, falling from the higher ocean layers, drift down like a quiet rain of life. Scientists call it marine snow. To us, it is like the soft ash of time itself, settling gently onto the trench floor. Every piece is precious. A single dead fish that drifts down into the hadal zone can become a feast for a community of scavengers, sustaining them for weeks. In this way, the trenches are a place of patience, where survival depends not on abundance but on endurance. And still, There are mysteries, glimpses of creatures so strange that they stretch our imagination. In the Mariana Trench, researchers once filmed a fish unlike any other, the snailfish of the hadal depths. Fragile, pale, with skin that looks almost gelatinous, it glides through the crushing darkness with grace. Its bones are lighter, less calcified, so they do not collapse under the pressure. Its body is proof that life finds ways to thrive even in the most unlikely of places. Some scientists suspect there are creatures here we have not yet seen. Giant worms, strange jellies. Perhaps species that have remained unchanged for millions of years, preserved in this dark cradle. The hadal zone remains one of the least explored regions of Earth. We have sent people to the moon more often than to the deepest trenches. That thought alone makes this place feel like an alien world hiding in plain sight, right here on our own planet. As we drift deeper into this underworld, the scale of time itself begins to shift. These trenches were carved by tectonic plates colliding, massive slabs of Earth's crust diving beneath one another. The process is slow, almost invisible on a human timescale, yet powerful enough to create valleys 11 kilometers deep. Down here, we are close to the Earth's restless edge, where continents grind and the planet remakes itself silently, invisibly. And perhaps that is why the hadal zone feels so hauntingly still. It is not just the absence of light, or the pressure, or the silence. It is the awareness that we are standing at the edge of something ancient, something vast, something beyond measure. The creatures here are not only survivors of the dark, they are survivors of time itself, living in an environment that has changed little for millions of years. The trenches remind us that Earth is layered with secrets. We walk the surface and think we know our planet, yet beneath the waves lies a world as distant from us as any star. If the ocean is the planet's great dream, then the hadal zone is its deepest slumber, a place where the dream folds into shadow and mystery. And as we linger here, drifting in the stillness, let us imagine ourselves as part of this place. Let us picture floating in silence among creatures of glass and shadow, feeling the immense weight of the ocean above us, but not as a burden, rather as a blanket, heavy and protective, sealing us in quiet. There is no rush here, no noise, no need to be anything but still. The hadal zone teaches us that even in the most extreme conditions, life adapts. That beauty can exist in places no light has ever touched. That survival itself is an act of quiet resilience. And perhaps, in a way, it teaches us about our own depths, the hidden places within us where strength is born not from brightness, but from endurance, from patience, from the ability to withstand pressure without breaking. As we rise from this trench in our thoughts, let us carry that stillness with us. Let us remember the hush of the deep, the glow of the tiny creatures, the vastness of the Earth's secret valleys. And as we return gently toward the surface in imagination, we might close our eyes and feel as though we are still down there, wrapped in silence, embraced by the deepest calm our planet has to offer. For in the end, the hadal zone is not only a place of darkness, it is also a place of peace. And in that peace, we too may find rest. And now, our descent has ended. We have wandered together through shimmering surface waters, through twilight and midnight, through the abyss, and into the hadal trenches where pressure rules in silence. We have drifted among jellyfish that glow like lanterns, watched lanternfish blink their coded messages, imagine the slow sweep of giant squid tentacles, and listen to the silence of the trenches where only the hardiest of creatures endure. The ocean has shown us its many faces, and now, as we drift in this stillness, it is time to let the waves carry us back, not upward toward the surface, but inward toward rest. Close your eyes, if they are not already closed. Picture the ocean you have just traveled. Above you, the surface shimmers faintly like a memory. Around you, water presses softly, not threatening, but embracing, like a heavy blanket of liquid night. There is no need to swim here, no need to search or strive. The ocean holds you. It has always held the earth, and tonight, it holds you too. Think of the creatures you met. The glowing jellyfish, the gentle drifting siphonophores, the tiny lanternfish that light up the dark. They do not hurry. They simply drift, suspended between light and shadow. Their rhythm is the rhythm of the ocean, a rhythm that does not measure minutes or hours, but centuries, millennia, time itself folded into tides. The ocean has always been here. Before cities rose, before the first humans walked, before even the great forests spread across land, the ocean whispered. It cradled the first living things, tiny, fragile, yet destined to grow into every creature that has ever been. It is our origin story, our true beginning. And even now, as we dream of stars and galaxies, of futures and inventions, the ocean continues its quiet song beneath us. We may leave it, we may forget it, but it does not forget us. Its waters move with the pull of the moon. Its waves crash and whisper on distant shores. Its currents circle the globe like the slow breath of the earth itself. As you rest here, imagine yourself becoming part of that rhythm. Each inhale is a wave arriving. Each exhale is a wave receding. You are part of the tide, part of the pulse of life that began in the sea and will continue long after we are gone. Drift now with that thought. There is no need to hold on to anything. Like sand slipping through water, like sea foam dissolving. Back into the waves, let your thoughts dissolve too. You are carried. You are safe. You are held in the deepest cradle of the earth, the ocean itself. And as sleep begins to gather at the edges of your mind, remember this: the ocean is not just water. It is memory. It is time. It is the dream of Earth itself. So rest now, as the ocean sings to you its eternal lullaby. Let go and drift into dreams, where the waves of sleep will carry you gently to tomorrow.